Hey everybody, it's Princess Castleberry, the Wellness Risk Manager, and I'm so excited today to kick off our short video series on how to build goal success for 2023. And my very first tip is know your needs. So we're going to just jump right into it. A lot of people believe that when you start goal setting, that you should just focus on writing down the goal. And that's actually not where I start. I always start by getting in tune with what I need by just asking that very simple question: what do I need this year? And this question is really about self-assessment and understanding where our priorities lie. So, when we were kids, we learned how to distinguish our needs from our wants, and our caregivers were very quick to remind us about the difference. But as we grow older, wiser, more self-aware, and our needs change over time. And sometimes I feel like we lose sight of the impact of leaving certain needs unfulfilled on our wellness. So we do have to make sure our needs are being met. Now, that image that you see there on the screen is a graphic reference that you're probably familiar with. It is Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. Abraham Maslow created this model way back in the 1940s as part of the research he was doing on the motivation, what motivates us as human beings. Now, this model has been used throughout psychology, throughout self-help and wellness for decades. And so I bring it up here today to distinguish two types of needs that we have, whether you believe in the actual structure of the model or not. Don't worry about that part. But I do believe and I do support the idea that we have two completely different types of needs, and that our motivation during in expressing those needs changes depending on where we are. And so when we talk about our deficiency needs, these are the things that, it's hard to move beyond until we get that bucket filled up, right? Our motivation for these things actually decreases over time once we have them and we find ourselves able to move on. So our most basic needs are our physiological needs. So that is the need for your food, water, shelter, substance. And I just don't want to take for granted in this day and age that people have all of those things, even though I'm talking to, primarily my peers, a business audience. Times have been hard. The world has presented us many, many challenges. And so having your physiological needs met can be an issue for some people, but you have to make sure at least those base needs are addressed before you start goal setting, right? And then the next level is critically important. These are our safety needs, and they're primal, they're base in how we function, right? Our safety needs are things like our physical safety. Are we physically safe where we live and where we work? Are we financially safe where we work and how we generate our income? Our careers generating the type of financial stability that we and our families need, and to support the needs of our community, if we are part of the giving landscape in our communities. Do our occupations meet our financial safety needs? And then on that level of safety, going more into the workplace, are we psychologically safe? Are we in a place where we feel free to express our ideas without retaliation? Do we feel free to show up as ourselves? Do we live authentically? Safety is a very basic need. And now we're getting into something that a lot of people that I know, people that are close and near to me, struggle with, which is that love and belonging. So this gets into some of your more close, intimate friendship and familial relationships. I often find, as I'm starting to establish my goals, especially as I grow older, that my friendship circle, while I am meeting a ton of new people in my network, my core friendship circle seems to be getting smaller and smaller, and more connected and more reliant on each other. So I actually went through, a situation a few years ago where I lost my sense of belonging in some of my friendship circles. So having that sense of belonging and knowing your place and knowing that you have a place where people know you, see you, respect you, and care for you is critically important. And, for those of us that are, that may be seeking intimate relationships, um, I know that, I don't know what the dating landscape looks like because I'm a married woman. But as a married woman, married life presents all sorts of challenges, right? So can I get a amen in the comments for anybody out there that's married? Um, so love and belonging and those needs can present a lot of challenges for us. And that all rolls up into our esteem needs. These are the needs that are filled by our self esteem and by the esteem that we garner from other people, right? So when we think about what we need, ask yourself, am I looking to others for validation? And this is not a judgment moment. I know we hear lots of things that say, don't look outside of yourself for validation. Don't look to the world or others. Don't look at social media for your love. And we say things like, don't compare yourself to others. But I think by nature, human beings, we are comparative beings. We compare everything. I'll just tell this funny, little side story. I think a lot of women especially can relate to this. Before we even go to a party or an event, we call our friends and ask them, what are you wearing? What are you doing? How are you going to show up? Because we want to know how we should show up. And that is comparison. We look at things like social media, and sometimes we do, make the mistake of comparing our real life to somebody else's real life, REEL. And a friend of mine posted a video just yesterday saying and reminding us not to compare our real REAL lives to somebody else's REEL, somebody else's REEL life. And so when we think about esteem, though, do we need that? Do we need that external validation to keep us motivated? Do we need that external love and that support and those likes? And if we do, it's okay to just be aware of that. I'm not telling you to sit in that, but I'm saying be aware of that. If that is something that you need, be aware of that before you set your goals. Because again, this is about setting yourself up for success. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to debate what you need. I'm here to help you become aware of what you need. And so that last part of at the top of that pyramid are our growth needs. And so growth or self-actualization needs, that's the need that you have fulfilled when you're doing the things that you want to do. And that's actually where I am right now, where I'm trying to self-actualize. I'm trying to become something that I had not been fully living out in my past, and get into professional speaking and training on a larger stage, get deeper into my consultative practices. And so I have needs that are tied to my growth and my being. And the difference between deficiency needs and our growth needs are that as those deficiency needs are met, the motivation to keep going and getting those things decreases. Whereas when we achieve success in our careers and our lives, that motivation actually increases and helps us to build and propel forward. And so today's tip really is for you to just tap in, know your needs going into the new year, know your physiological needs, your safety needs, your needs for love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. What are you trying to do? And then I want you to try to tap into and understand what happens to you when those needs are not met. So I want to leave you here today in this short video with two questions that I want you to answer for yourself. Number one, what are your most important needs for the new year? And answer that without judgment, okay? And without hesitation, without any fear. What are your most important needs in the new year? And then I want you to ask yourself this question: how does the void that I'm experiencing because of that need, how does that impact my self-talk, what I'm saying to myself, and how does it impact my authenticity or how I show up in spaces, and how does it impact what I believe is possible? Focus on that. I'll put those questions down in the comment section so that you can see them and reflect on them. And then tomorrow, we're just going to keep rolling with another tip. I hope you have found this first step in my process helpful. Use those answers to really help to begin to shape your goals. Talk to you soon.